Alrighty, folks. Welcome back to the live stream cello lesson. Today we're going to be continuing with the Suite No.1 by Bach, and it's going to be Courante today, the third movement. So first, let's take a look at the piece, and just a quick note, Courante, in my opinion, is probably the hardest out of all the dances. It's really fast, it's kind of confusing, there's a lot of string crossing as well. So just be aware of that. But I'm going to try and give you guys some tips and tricks to make this movement, make this dance a little bit easier. So let's just jump right in. Alright. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm going to mark out the phrases and then also write out the chords that it's representing. And hopefully that will help with, I don't know, for me, understanding what kind of chords you have to play. Or what kind of harmony that you have to hear in your head, helps me very much. So that's the goal of all the chord progressions here. All right, so let's start. And first, let's just read slowly and without the bowing first. We're still gonna start up bow. But let's just not do all the slurs just quite yet, okay? So we're in 3/4, and let's go. So 16th notes is our fastest. Da dee da dee da dee da. Let's go that fast. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Let's go until there, because the fingering until there is pretty straightforward. We just do first position, open string, right? But then here, let's go from the second measure here. We're gonna go from here, okay? So, ignoring the bowing, just on that G, right? After the low G, the second G. Here, we're gonna go to third position, and we're gonna do extension. The third position extension spells out the G, E, and B. It's kind of uncomfortable, that position, but this is one of the most helpful positions, I would say. So one of the ways you can practice, there's, I think, multiple ways you can practice extensions. If you never dealt with extensions before, try to get used to the motion by just place your fingers here, right here on the side of the cello, and then just stretch out your first finger sideways, right? The reason why I ask all my students to do this is there's a tendency to tilt your hand like that in order to get more reach. But that causes more bad habits in the future. So imagine you're kind of just stretching out sideways, right? If you're playing piano, you don't twist your hand to reach the keys, right? You just spread your fingers out. So that's the same idea in extensions here. So just try to go back like that without making your wrist or your hand twist back. What do you mean formula? There's you can think of it like whole. If it's a major scale, it'll be whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. If you're following the note names, it'll be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. So, or if you're going with the me to me, well, so that all depends. Like if you're playing E major, E major has different notes, right? Different sharps. E major would be E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, and E. Alright, continuing on with the lesson. So, by the way, all the major scales, I have it posted on the video side, so you can take a look at it there. I have it on all the 12 major keys, so yeah. Alright. So, starting at the second measure, so we go down to third position here, and then it will be here. Give me a second, I'll answer your question in a bit. So in the third measure, we're staying in the third position here, right? And then after you play that open C, we're gonna go to A string, and then right back to the low D, and then so, as I said, we're going to do third position, right? And stay in third position, and it'll be, you know, what is it? You'll stay in the third position, and it'll be an extension, right? And then you go into an open C here, and then you jump to A. And then we stay on the D string. Yeah. Oh look, he be deleting his message now, man. Get out of here. If you're gonna ask question, ask your question correctly. Alright, so now let's take a look at the bowing. So the bowing is going to be a little bit tricky, but that's going to be okay. So the bowing I have will probably be different from the bowing that you have. But as I said before in the other classes, just remember that these are just suggestions. These are the bowings that I've come to, I've come to kind of apply in my performances. So yeah, you can use it or you don't have to use it. It's up to you, really. So first, let's take a look at the bowing now. And we're still going to play slowly. Alright. Alright, 1 and 2 and 3. Slur. you're playing the open strings, already shift down and make your, third position. And then as I said, you stay in position and then stay extended and then string cross and then we're just gonna stay in first position here. Keep on going up there. Okay? So I think the yellow phrase goes until there. So practice slowly. I will practice probably measure by measure, just so you get used to the bowing and the rhythm and all of that, right? Alright. So let's try it slowly once again. Let's figure out the chords, right? Double up bow. One thing that I want you to feel about this dance is, so first of all, it's in 3/4, right? But we have to also feel it in not quite like a minuet. So minuet is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So minuet is a little bit more of accenting the first beat, right? But in this dance, in Courante, you'll notice that it kind of does 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So it kind of emphasizes also the third beat. So keep that in mind. That's usually going to be how it's going to be phrased. So, for example, it won't sound as obvious when we're playing slow, right? 1 and 2 and 3. So 3 and 1 and 2. 3, 1, 2. So always kind of remember that you're emphasizing the first beat and the third beat. And the third beat kind of leads into the first beat, right? So keep that in mind. And let's try and figure out the chords. So here, G, D, G, and then B, G, B, D, spells out G major, right? And then this G major goes until the next measure. Which then here we go into C major, right? Because we play C, E, and then G. So C major. So here, to me, it sounds like we're going to a D major, right? So let's write D. And I think that's going to help you kind of decipher what we're doing here. So let's try that first line all together. Slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 3 1 and 2 3 1 2 1 and 2. So remember that the bowing here is also going to be a little bit tricky, right? So bowing. All right. So what I mean by pull is just literally pull the bow more, so you have more room for that up bows, right? Because the up bows, it's lasting for a beat and a half versus the 1/8 note, right? So this piece requires a lot of thinking about the bow distribution, as we call it. You're going to have to kind of choreograph how much bow you're using in what places. All right, let's move on. All right, so starting from measure 5, let's go slowly. And let's play without the bowing for now. Everything's separate. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Alright, I think that was a little bit too fast. A little bit slower, let's do measure by measure, okay? So, first measure, measure 5. Open D. Right? Pretty straightforward. Measure 6 is a little bit difficult. I've seen people do it staying in first position. And then shifting down here. But for me, I tend to stay here, and when you're playing that open A, it gives you an opportunity to shift down. Like that. So stay stretched. So we're going to be doing extension here. And then for that C, remain in that extension. And we're going to play a major 7th interval there. And, oh, I have wrong fingering there. I guess you can play open, but it sounds much better when you do. So this will be on, or not G string, it'll be on the D string. let's take a look at this measure. It's a little bit tricky, but so we shift into second position with that F sharp, A with the fourth finger, and then D with second finger, and then that low D, open D, and then G with the second finger, right? Let's do it slowly, all separate. So just get used to that. I think I do 1-1 here. So and then shift back, right? Here we're in second position, and then back to first position, and then shift back. All right, cool. I believe the blue phrase, although it's short, goes until there. Now, it may seem pretty simple right now, but remember this piece goes very fast, right? So we did it slowly. And then separately, right? Separated the bows. Shift. Now, the difficult thing about this part is, first of all, the bowing, right? So 3 of it is slurred and then 1 separate. Now, if you notice, we're going to naturally want to go further out on the bow. But don't worry about it, because the third beat is the reverse of that pattern, right? So first note is separate and then 3 slurred. But we're slurring up both three notes. So we're going to end up back to the near the frog that where we want to be, right? Difficult thing will be the bowing. That's one part that's going to be difficult. But remember that the bowing, it's going to be natural and it's going to come back to your normal spot. The second thing that's going to be difficult about this one will be doing the extension, doing that pattern, but in an extension. So we as I said, if I want to focus on Courante, there is a video about the major scales in the links below. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. You can leave comments on that video because it'll be much easier to talk about that. Right now we're getting sidetracked. I appreciate the questions, but let's focus on Courante right now. Alright, so the light blue phrase is going to be a little bit difficult, but let us make a mark of it. Because for me, if it's going to be difficult, let's say it's a halfway mark, right? And I'll show you why. So moving from here, starting from that B, and then remember it's double up bow, as well as it's going to be in the second position, and then stay in first position, go back to first position, and then keep on going. Alright. Let's continue on to measure 10. We're going to stay here. And let's not do the trill yet. So let's just do that. Very simple. So that is a little bit tricky when we do it fast, right? But try and stay in the middle of the bow, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is the second phrase is we come back to that pattern, right? And I believe it goes till here. I think that's an easier way to think about it. So, starting from here, we're starting up bow, right? And then up. And then we're staying in first position, right? And then stay in position. And then so we're always going to stay in position here. So I think the third line is pretty straightforward. No need to worry about it. And the last bit is just a D major scale, right? So, if we take a look at the chord progression, something very interesting happens. So, starting from measure 5. So here we're staying in D, but we turn it into a dominant. And as I talked about it before, dominant resolves to its tonic, which in this case will be G, right? But here he kind of also turns it into kind of like a suspended sound. Goes to D. Here is really fast. D, G, D, G, into A briefly. And then that resolves immediately into D, right? Go back to so does A, back to A, and then once again it does D, G, E, here, goes into A7, I guess we can go G major 7th. I guess that makes more sense, right? C major 7, then goes back to D, and then we land on measure 14, which is basically D. Alright, so let's go on to D, let's go on to measure 14, which we're going to call it purple. And from measure 14 and 15, pretty straightforward. So we have a pattern of just D, E, D, right? D, E, D. We're always going to do that with open 1, open. And then here, what we're going to focus on is the notes that I highlighted, right? Right, we're still spelling out D major here. And let me write that down. So we're still spelling out D major. So the trick there, when you're playing that up bows, those up bows, jump back to the frog. Alright. And then A7, right? We're gonna stay in position. Here it's an extension, right? Alright, so let's do it without the bowing, without the slur. And then F sharp. So let's ignore that trill for now. And then we shift down to here. We're going to be using that third position extension quite a bit. So that is probably one of the hardest part. Let me just circle it. So, right? F sharp, 1, and then shift to third position, extended. So we're going to land on the second finger for that A. 4, 2, 1, 3, and then, and, extension, and, there we go. So, purple phrase, pretty straightforward, except for the last two, right? I guess that one is a bit tricky. And then also maintaining the extension, right? Remember to do your extension really well. You have to keep your thumb under your second finger, right? Try not to have it in any other place. If you're not gonna keep it under your second finger, you can just float it, right? And try and pull onto the fingerboard, right? Extension. Alright. So, main thing to worry about in the purple phrase is the bow distribution, right? When you're always go back to the frog. And then that jump 4/4 is a little bit tricky, but not too big of a deal. Measure 14, be careful not to just play, because that's not the important part, right? The important part is the, right? Like that. All right. Hopefully, that explained it. I'm sorry there were a lot of distractions in this stream. I should get a moderator. But, yeah. Let's just quickly try the first half all the way through. I'm going to play it slightly under tempo right now. And then at the end, I'll play it at tempo, right? At the tempo the minimum tempo that you should be able to play at. Alright, so let's go slowly. And then I'm going to take a quick break and then let's go work on the second half. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. And then normally you would repeat, but for now, let's not do the repeat. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break and we'll get back to it. So stick around, and yeah, I'll be back in like 10 minutes, okay? Alright, let's get back to work. So, as we left off, we're finally to the halfway point. So, let's finish out the piece. And we'll call it a day for today. Let's go with green. So same thing. Let's take a look at it measure by measure. Alright, and so we're going to end on first position, but we're going to shift up to the second position here. And then shift back down to first position. Right? 2 and 3. So that one's pretty simple. And we come here. So we jump when we play that open D. We jump back to the second position and then C natural. Right? So try and hold on to that a little bit. And then here, same thing. Stay in position. We're gonna stay in position and so here, F sharp, D, and then stay in position. When you're playing that open G here, we're gonna shift down to fourth position. 4, 4. So here, four, 4. So, so in order to make that audible, you kind of need to do a snappy shift, right? But try not to overshoot it, right? It's only half step. So remember, the fingering there is a little bit tricky, but it becomes a lot useful. F sharp. And here we stay in first position, half position, and then first position. So the whole green part, I don't know if you noticed, but there's always this pattern, right? So it always does the, so eighth, 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 and then there's some kind of ornament into the next chord section, and then it kind of varies here a little bit. So, right, it's would say that's a new sequence. Now here we shift to second position. 3-1. So just be aware of the pattern. So that the third measure of the green is a little bit different, right? Until the D sharp. And then we come to there. Let's just read it out. So here will be E and D sharp. And then fourth position here. And then second position. And then shift to third position. A and D sharp, it's gonna be a tritone, so remember that shape of our finger. And then open G, stay in position, right? Because that B is going to be right there. Until there. So the second half of the green is a little bit tricky, right? So once again, so D sharp trill is with E natural. Shift to fourth position, and then shift to second position. You can tune it with the open G, and then shift up to third position. You can tune that A with A, and then stay in third position. Extension, right? Extension. 3-1, 3-1, or 2-1, 2 extension 1, 3-1, 3-1. So green is a little bit difficult, but I think you'll manage. Let's figure out the chord. So we start out with D major, right? A, F sharp, D, D, F sharp, A. That's gonna be D major. And then we go into D, F sharp, C. So here I dominant, right? D7. And remember that D7, which is a dominant, dominant, that's going to resolve to its tonic, which is going to be G major. G, and then briefly it goes into D again, and then back to G. Right? And then here, A, F sharp, G sharp. I would say that's part of. So that's part of. It spells out a diminished chord, right? So A to F sharp is minor third. F sharp to D sharp is minor third. But that also has a B. The B natural is implied there because it creates a dominant sound, which should resolve to E minor, right? Fifth down from B is an E, so it should resolve to E minor. Then here's something cool happens. We do, so all of a sudden it goes into F major. And then here, once again it does B7. E minor with G on the bottom. Like that. So if you're conscious of the chord changes, it really helped. Let's do it slowly in tempo, right? So the green phrase, 1 and 2 and 3. So very important to be counting as well. I started counting and then I didn't. Some helpful tips about those, when you have the 16th notes, right? So try to take a little bit of time on those highlighted notes. So we're gonna put a tenuto here, right? So you can hold it a little bit longer. But remember from last class, we have to also feel the rhythm. So remember that the next phrase, it's coming from, it's a rebound from the first beat, right? So you gotta land on the third beat as well. Da 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 dum. 1. So really the important thing, it doesn't matter if you take time here, as long as you feel the start of the next phrase as a rebound. Right? And 3, 1, and. So that's one thing that's going to be important, okay? All right. Let me play through the green phrase just because it's a little bit tricky. So it's nice to know how it sounds like and see how it's done, right? So once again, green phrase. 1 and 2 and 3. So let's go on. Let's do orange. Da 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 da. Measure 29. We're gonna stay in first position. 4, 2, 3. Stay in position. Right? 1, 2, because we have the F natural. Now we're gonna go to 1, 4, open C. So this one's fairly straightforward. Next measure, measure 30. And then here is F sharp, sorry. Let's write it again. It's a sharp, right? So once again, we have that same pattern of chord and then 16th note, right? And then we come to this part, which is one of my favorite parts. Alright, so let's take a look at this guy. So the notes are pretty simple. We're just blocking out a chord. Matter of fact, we played this in the prelude before, right? So G with the second finger, and then that C sharp is going to be on the G string. Remember the... So it's the same fingering. Only the thing that's different is the bowing, right? And it's in 3/4. But I really like this bowing. It's really fun to play. So it's 3 slur, and then 1 separate, and then 2 slurred, and then 2 separate, and then 4 slurred upward, like that. So something cool about this fingering is you're not going to be, you're not going to run out of bow. So that's something to consider. But do it slowly. And remember to use your fingers like this. Your bow is going to be doing more of this than your arms, right? And then we stay in position. And then here is a little bit difficult. But I think you'll manage. So here, the bowing here is very important. So you can see that I'm slurring over until the first beat of the next measure. Because if you listen to the figure, the phrasing is the last 3/16 into the next measure, right? So that's why we also have those hooked bowings. So just remember that. And we're gonna take a little bit of time on those. So something cool, let's highlight it so it's a little bit easier to see. So this part is just this. And then here it's so we're going to be playing in first position, all of this. And then here. Same thing here. So the orange that measure 33 and 34 is a little bit tricky. So if you want to, just practice separately. Get used to the fingering. And then once you have the fingering nice and comfortable, and it's very helpful if you're able to memorize it. Now add the slurs, right? Mark it red. So the hard part is that measure 33, 34, I would say, right? So really the trick is with your hand, because there's a lot of quick jumps to D strings back to A string, right? also, you can do how it's written originally. That works great too. But I think being able to slur it kind of makes it a little bit more fluid. And same fingering there. And then coming into the red phrase. Red phrase is basically the same thing as the purple phrase, except we're going to play it a string lower. So, same fingering, same pattern, right? Open one, open. And then we're going to follow these notes as a scale. So we have the and then we come to the last motif, the motif that we had before, right? We have the same motif here, and we're going off of the A string, right? And then shift down here. So that's the fingering that we want. Four, two, 4, 1. 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Open. Then here we're gonna stick to the D string, right? And then shift it. Like that. So the red part is really the same thing as the purple part, right? So just be aware of that. It's a little bit different, the second ending, right? Go back to the front. Oh, one time, right? Like that. All right. So I like to break down this piece into this, like the 6 big phrases, right? We have the yellow phrase, light blue, and then purple. That's the first half. And then we have the green, orange, and then red, right? As the second half. I think this is the easiest way to practice it. Just work on each phrase until you're comfortable with it, right? Practice it slowly. And then once you're able to practice, play through all of it, right? Each of the half, then I would start picking up the speed. So practice it slowly, play it slowly first, and then bring it up to speed. So now let's just try and play the second half all together, but playing it under tempo, right? And then let's talk, and then I'm going to play through the whole thing close to the tempo that you should be playing. And I think that'll be it for today. All right, so let's just do the second half under tempo, okay? So, 1 and 2 and 3. Second position, shift back. Shift to fourth position, 4-4. Half position. So that's the second half. Remember, try to practice slowly. Even that speed, I think, is a little bit too fast. And practice in smaller chunks, right? It's not a race. It's not a speed run to learn the fastest, right? We want to learn correctly first, right? So take your time learning it and looking at the fingering and all that. And yeah, let's play through the whole thing now. I'm gonna play without the repeat. So normally you can play, if you're going to do the repeat, normally you only do the first half. Right now, let's just keep it simple and do none of the repeats. All right. So from the beginning, let's do Courante all the way, and I'm gonna go at a danceable tempo. How about that? 1 and 2 and 3. how you play the Courante. The most important technique, I would say, left hand wise, is the third position extension. You're going to use this a lot, just this position. So try and get comfortable with it. Play with open G, right? Play with the open C. So try to get comfortable with those intervals, or those positions. And remember to relax your thumb. And try to pull onto the fingerboard like that. Alright, so I think that'll be it for today. For the upcoming lessons, we're going to be continuing with the suites. So we have Sarabande next, and we have Minuet 1 and 2, and Gigue. So the next 3 lessons, we'll deal with those. And hopefully we'll end the suite by end of this month. So if you tuned in, thank you for watching. If you're going to watch later, thanks for sticking around. And as always, if this video helped a lot, remember to give it a like. If you want to watch more lessons, remember to subscribe. So yeah, happy practicing, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.